Hello there, it's Carrie Rhodes here. Welcome back to the Trinity Stamps YouTube channel. In today's video, I am combining some of the new products from the Enchanted Woods release and a one light from Pearblossom Press to create a light up shaker card. Two of my favorite things to make in one card, and it's all on a mini slimline. This is the brand new floral mini slimline die. It's a cover plate die, and it makes this wonderful detailed panel. And this is what I'm going to use for the cover of my shaker card. I cut it from some mirror gold cardstock, and I'm going to glue on a window sheet to the back. Now this die cuts to be 3 by 6 inches, so I've cut my window sheet slightly smaller than that. I am going around all 4 of the edges with some foam tape, making sure the ends touch, and then I'm filling it up with some diamond dust. Just something I had on hand that I thought would look great inside this shaker. So I'm going to remove the backing off the foam tape and then enclose that with a piece of brushed gold cardstock. So having the gold cardstock on the front and the back in similar colors but different finishes and a clear shaker bit inside is going to make sure that background is not too busy and not going to overtake the front, which I'm going to use this tiny fairy silhouette stamp set to create. So I'm going to stamp out all the fairies so you can see what they look like, and I'm actually going to emboss them. So I'm going to use some clear sticky ink to do that, and then I'll emboss them with some really fun powders. So when stamping these silhouette images, they're very solid images, I am going to make sure and ink that up and stamp it twice, maybe even 3 times, just to make sure I have really good ink coverage. And now it's time to emboss. So I'm using some specialty embossing powders. These are from Wow, but these images are really fun to play with. Some of your specialty powders, colored powders, glitter powders. I thought it was really fun to pull these out and use them, and I have each of my fairies a different color. So I'm going to emboss these, and I'll show you what each one of them looks like embossed. And of course, you could also have fun with your inks on these. You could use some ink cubes and even do a couple different colors. I just think silhouette stamps in general are really fun to do different techniques with. So I pulled out the coordinating dies now that I had stamped out all 4 of the fairies and went ahead and die cut those out, and I love these. They are so much fun, and I think a stamp set you could really use with a lot of other things that you already own, plus they could be the focal point of your card just like mine are today. So I'm stamping out that little sparkle image and just kind of figuring out the placement, and then I'm going to use the Papercrafting Magic stamp set and stamp the word press at the top so that I can make the light up portion of this card. And I am now going to poke a hole in each of those little sparkles so that the light can really shine through those areas. I'll go ahead and glue down my little fairy, and if this seemed like a little bit out of order on that part of the video, that's because I lost part of my recording, so I reenacted it for you. All right, this is the new One Light from Pearblossom Press. I cannot tell you how easy this is to do. All you have to do is remove that backing from the battery. Now my battery flew out, so you want to make sure that the plus symbol on the battery is lined up with the plus symbol on the casing for the battery, and you can see it lights up there. And then I just need to line up and make sure I have good spacing between where I want the light to light up and where the word push is. Then I'm adding some double stick tape to the top of the battery pack, and this is what's going to stick this to the back of my circle. Pretty easy, right? And it's really like done. That's it. You just stick it where you want it. I guess the hardest part would be like the placement, like what you're going to put it behind, where you're going to stamp the word push. That's, you know, just the creative part. Okay, so now I'm flipping this over and I'm taking some Heavy Doodle foam tape. This foam tape is already doubled up in size to fit around these easy lights, these one lights, all of the lights from Pearblossom Press that you can find in the Trinity shop. Or if you don't have this kind of tape, you might want to double up what you have so it's as thick as that little battery pack. So now that I have the foam tape on there, I'm going to put that right down on my card front, and you can see when I push it, it indeed lights up. I'm also going to pop up the fairy. So this is a pretty like thick card with the shaker portion already being thick because of foam tape, and then the elements for the light up are already thick. So just take that into consideration when mailing a card like this. You're going to need extra postage. So now I'm stamping out the sentiments for this card, trying to go through my stash and pick out inks that I know are going to work with those colored embossing powders. And so it's going to say, wishing you a fairy happy day. And the word fairy has a die that cuts around it, which I thought was super cool. I love it. And then I have kind of a different look for that one on my card. So I'll glue those in place. You can see each of the sentiment is by like the fairy that matches that color, and I thought it looked really cute like that. I'm adding this to my mini Slimline card base, which is a 6x6 piece of paper scored at 3 inches. Such a fun card size, and I love that Trinity has so many cover plate dies like this one. Time for some embellishments. I have 3 different colors of baubles. I will have these linked for you below because that, almost the smallest size, fits inside the circles on this die cut so perfectly. I love that. All right, so now that I have embellished my card, it is complete and ready to send, with extra postage, of course. You might even want to put it in like a padded envelope or put an extra piece of cardstock in on the front of this. And also, some people like to leave that little strip behind the battery pack in place and then just tell the recipient to pull that out so that the battery doesn't get used up during like the shipping process. So that is up to you, but you can find a link to the supplies I used in the description box below. The Enchanted Woods release from Trinity Stamps has definitely been one of my favorites. I'm enjoying the products so much. So if you haven't checked that out, do that. And if you'd like more inspiration, you can find Trinity Stamps on Facebook and Instagram too. I'll see you all again very soon on the next video. Bye.